It's intermission time. It's great to get out to the movies.
So I'm Megan Braun, and I host this podcast. It's called Intermission. And today we have Spencer King. Spencer, can you intro yourself for the listener of who you are, what you do?
Thank you for having me, Megan. I'm Spencer King, like you just said. I'm a filmmaker, and my film The Wilderness just came out in theaters, and it'll be coming to streaming and digital places where you can get movies in the next month. So
very cool. I'm excited to chat about it. Before we get into your film, we typically do like a get to know the guest through the films that they like and they watch.
Okay.
Specifically, I ask every guest this, but if you had to pick a movie that describes your life right now, what comes to mind?
My life right now, my life is kind of calm right now, and most of the movies I like are not along those lines.
That's interesting that you say your life's calm right now, because I feel like every time I have a guest on who's promoting a film, they're always at the like peak of hectic, like doing a ton of press and interviews and stress. So that's good that you feel calm.
Yeah, well, it was the ramp up to it. I'd say was pretty stressful, and or not stressful, but yeah, hectic is the right word. And we kind of got through that, and now we're doing a Q&A once a week or so, and it is calm now, and I'm happy with how it went. So I've got a sense of peace in that.
Sweet.
Yeah, a film that describes my life right now. So, Nocturnal Animals.
That's a great
Tom
movie.
Ford film. One of my favorite movies. Probably doesn't actually relate to my life right now, but I'll draw a parallel.
Okay.
We've got the kind of peaceful moment at the beginning, or the Los Angeles landscape, and then you go into the desert, which I was in Utah, and I spent almost 6 months over there filming The Wilderness. So I think maybe you could draw a parallel with that film. But I mean, storyline wise, none of that's going on in my life.
Yeah.
But I love that film, and they've got a desert and an LA location. So
perfect. Easy.
Let's go with that.
Outside of working on your film, I always like to hear what filmmakers are watching. Have you been to the theaters recently, or have you watched anything via streaming that you really enjoyed?
I really liked Roofman. Did you see it?
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard really good things as well.
Yeah, it was a brutal film.
Yeah.
It's it's based on a true story, and it's about a guy that escapes prison. That in the filmmaker really makes you feel for this guy, and he kind of wound up there in a way that was against his. He messed up, but you believe in his redemption, and he goes back into his hometown, and he's got this way to get out, and he just isn't doing it. He's just wanting to stay there, and you like as an audience member, like, dude, you gotta go. You gotta go. It's painful, and it's like almost hard to watch at times, and then it lands it at the end of the film. I was very impressed. I think a lot of filmmakers struggle with kind of like putting you through the mud for some time, and that was a good theater experience.
Which theater did you go to?
I went to the Marina Marketplace, I think.
I've never been.
In Marina Del Rey. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I live on the west side of LA, so.
Sweet. Do you have a go-to theater that you go to?
For like IMAX, Century City is the nearest one, and then the Santa Monica 7 at the Promenade. That's a good one.
Fun. I don't have any LA native friends, like close friends, and then my group of friends and colleagues and everyone is really on the east side. So I'm like always curious about the spots on that side of town. Like I never go to the movies over there, but I will, and I should.
Sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's just you're in a movie theater wherever you.
No, I do, because I do like different theaters. I think it changes the whole ambiance. Like.
So the Arrow. So you guys have the Los Feliz 3 over here, the American Cinematique. The Arrow is like the sister theater. I love that theater.
Yeah.
They have great movies come through there. I just saw Dunkirk on 70 mil there.
Fun.
Which was a great experience. And so
was that your first time watching Dunkirk?
No, but I didn't see it on 70 when I first saw it. And I hadn't seen it since it was in theaters, like, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I highly recommend that theater. Don't go to an AMC if you go over there. Go to the Arrow.
Yeah. No, I like if I'm doing a trip, like I told you, I'm going to Mexico City tomorrow. Like if I were alone, typically try to go to a movie theater when I'm on a trip, but since this trip, I probably won't have time to do that. But I do think like the ambiance changes my whole perception of the film, because then I associate the film with even like the walking to the theater and leaving the theater experience, and it's all jumbled into like my sentiment in that moment.
It definitely is. You know, you go to an art house theater and then you go to like a big megaplex AMC, and it's a different experience, you know, both great.
So we're just getting off of Halloween and now going into like Thanksgiving, Christmas time. Are you someone who's into like holiday-esque movies? Do you have like a ritual of every Christmas I watch this movie?
I don't have holiday routines with movies. I have movies that are like comfort movies that I would probably watch in like comfort times.
Yeah.
You know, like but yeah, I don't have a big Christmas movie. I guess maybe I'd say Die Hard. That's a great Christmas movie. Some people are question if it can be called a Christmas movie, but
I think it 1,000% deserves its place as a Christmas film.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm curious, like whenever I have someone on the show who, like yourself, is directing, you're writing, but you also are someone who like loves watching movies. What was the kind of gateway drug movie that got you into being a film lover on one end of the spectrum, and then a movie that got you into wanting to be actually a part of making the magic and being a part of that world?
Yeah, so I remember watching Donnie Darko when I was in probably like 4th or 5th grade. And that was the first movie that I like stayed up all night and I was researching it and what does the ending mean, and
Wait, Nocturnal Animals is also Jake Gyllenhaal, no?
Yeah.
Are you a big fan?
Definitely. I mean, I guess it's hard to not be a big fan of Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, Donnie Darko, I feel like that movie, you know, stands the test of time, and I think people my age, I'm 28, like very influenced by that film specifically.
That's funny. I'm 29, and that's also one of my favorite movies.
Yeah,
I never thought of it being like obvious because of when it came out.
Yeah.
But that makes sense.
Yeah, like I remember pulling that movie off of a shelf at Blockbuster. Magnolia was a big film for me. That was more of a film that I was like, I want to make movies. I remember that because it was so, like the filmmaking in it was so impressive, and it blew my mind when I was like, 14 years old. And so I guess those two would be good. And then I'd also put another movie, Paranoid Park, right there, Gus Van Sant film. I loved that movie when I was... Yeah, because that like 13, 14 era, that's like, those were the movies that I was like, my eyes were wide open when I was watching them.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like your taste is really molded at that age.
Do you, when those films come to mind, were you already thinking like, I want to make movies like this, or you're just saying like, I like movies?
I wanted to make them.
Okay.
So at like 14, I started writing stuff. I was the two things in my life that have been consistent have been sports and movies. And I think at that age was like this realization that I wasn't going to be a professional baseball player or whatever, you know? And I started falling in love with movies at that same time. And I wrote stuff, and me and my friends started making short films. Yeah, they were always like coming of age type of things.
Do you think it's because you were around this world, like living in LA? I'm always just so curious that like as a young kid, for me watching movies, it didn't ever cross my mind to be able to make a movie because no one around me was making movies, but you grew up in LA. So did it feel more of like a realistic path for you?
Totally. Well, so my mom is a documentary filmmaker. I don't know if you knew that, but I think that gave me this inherent belief that I could do it.
Yeah.
You know, you see someone around you do it, you're like, oh, you know, that can't be that difficult. Yeah, I think being here definitely played a part in it. But I think, you know, not living in LA for time periods in college and after college and stuff, you've realized that there's a real film love from people our age that aren't from LA too. That's you know, that that I really respect. I do think in LA there's a little bit of that business element of it that can kind of jade
Totally.
the love of it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Actually, when I left Los Angeles, I think I really started to love the craft of filmmaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
more so.
That makes complete sense.
Because you're around people that love it, and it's like, yeah.
If someone had to watch 3 movies to get to know you, what movies would they watch?
Well, it's kind of like that first question, you know, and I don't know if these movies, they would get to know me. They could get to know my taste in movies.
Yeah. Well, I guess I always say this on the podcast, but my questions are always coming from a place of like, you take it wherever you want to take it. So
Great.
are you going to be
Yeah.
literal of like, these are movies I like? Or are you going to be like, these are movies that feel like pieces of my personality that my friends should understand about me?
I like it. I think I can run with that. I'm going to start with Place Beyond the Pines. And I feel like that film, I think as far as like a film that inspired me, that's probably as high up there as any of them are. I referenced Magnolia before that just because I was younger when I saw that, but and then I think that coming of age, like the second part of that film was, you know, that tone that kind of played into the angst that I maybe felt in high school and stuff like that. And I will say another film, just because this is fun. It's fun to throw out films and come up with a reason for them. Unbreakable by M. Night Shyamalan. Just a really, really well-made film. And I think that something that I aspire for is like having a reason for every shot and having a cohesion. And I work with my cinematographer, Sean Mouton, who did The Wilderness, a lot on stuff like this with, you know, having a purpose for it. And when you're making indie films, you really have to pre-edit the films, and you know, you can't overshoot it. And you watch a movie like that, and it's just every shot bleeds into the next one, and it's really, really perfect in that way. Third film, and this is to get to know me. Okay, well, I gotta throw something a little lighter in there. I'll throw Lord of the Rings, the whole trilogy in there, just because they're so fun. Yeah. And that's a comfort film. That, I don't know if you could call that, you asked about the Christmas film. That's a film that trilogy I could watch, you know, every
That feels
year.
Christmas to me.
I know it does. I don't know why it does.
I think the comfort aspect.
It's the comfort. Yeah.
This is more on the nose, but like I just finished rewatching all the Harry Potters this past October. And obviously Halloween, like that's more literal. But those movies to me are like my
but that's also
parallel to Lord of the Rings of comfort.
That's also, you know, I think in a similar way of you putting Harry Potter with Halloween. It doesn't actually go with that, but it does, but like in a way that
wizards and I guess.
No, I mean in a way that it's like they're comfort films. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you on that. Yeah. What's your favorite Harry Potter film?
I actually was thinking about this as I was watching them because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I could tell. I've seen the movie so many times. I don't think I could tell you the names of them in order, like correctly.
Yeah, but like, you know, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, no, also, but I do know for certain that my favorite one is kind of a wild card. I really like the one where with Robert Pattinson where it's all the games and
4.
4? Okay, yeah. I really like the competition aspect of it and how it feels like a completely different movie than the rest.
Yeah.
And like the tone is different. It's like more like kind of Hunger Games-y. Obviously, Hunger Games comes later in life, but yeah, I just liked how different it felt.
Yeah, I was going to say 4 too. I like that one. And I love at the end when Voldemort finally appears and it's like the whole tone of the series changes.
Yeah, because then it gets pretty dark, but it also, the ends of the trilogy, the ends of the Harry Potter series, it's like very dark and serious, but it also feels like it needs to wrap up. And I felt like you can feel that in everything after the 4th one.
Yeah, totally.
Do you have a lesser known movie that comes, it could be like a doc or a film that comes to mind that you like to recommend to people?
Take Shelter, Jeff Nichols, who's an amazing filmmaker. He did Mud and he did Shotgun Story. He did Take Shelter is a really great psychological drama, and just like amazing filmmaking and great acting. Early Michael Shannon.
And then I'll end us with what are you looking forward to seeing? Whether it's like in theaters right now and you just haven't caught it yet, or it's soon to come out.
I have a very out of left field answer for this. The new Ken Burns American Revolution doc.
I mean, that's a great answer.
I am so excited about that. And
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of some of his work, and like especially and I don't mean that he does a lot of different topics,
Yeah.
but when he does the history stuff, it's like no one can do it better. And I'm very excited about that.
When does that come out?
In a couple days.
Oh, cool.
Just before I got here, I was watching the trailer for it and getting excited.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of his Vietnam War
Yeah.
doc series.
I recently, not in the summer, had posted an Instagram story just asking everyone to send me recs on anything historical, whether it was like a book, a doc, a podcast, and obviously a ton of people sent me Ken Burns stuff.
Oh, really?
And I'm like still needing to go down the list, but I made this like very OCD Excel doc of like all the different topics that they all covered and then the different mediums, because I'm trying to do like a reteaching myself the world I live in as an adult.
I would start with the Vietnam one because it's his best, and there's so much. A lot of his stuff is interviews and then still photography. Like you've heard of the Ken Burns shot. It's like the photo that kind of pans in. The Vietnam one has so much video in it, and he takes the perspective of 3 Americans soldiers, 3 North Vietnamese, and 3 South Vietnamese soldiers. So there's no like outside like people trying to dictate the
narrative.
The narrative,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's like it's super real, it's super grounded, and it gives you a real taste of that like brutal war. So
Cool.
I recommend that one.
Cool war.
Yeah. Brutal one.
Oh, the only reason I was trying to decide what order to watch everything in, it was also just like, should I do things chronologically? But anywho.
Yeah.
Okay, so now to get into your film, The Wilderness, I have a little description I'll read of it.
Okay.
A group of troubled teenage boys are kidnapped from their homes and taken deep into the unforgiving Utah desert, where they are forced into a brutal and secretive wilderness therapy program with no contact with the outside world. Their only way home is to earn the approval of the enigmatic, did I say that right? Program director, whose motives are far from therapeutic. As the line between rehabilitation and manipulation blurs, the boys must decide whether to survive the program or escape it. And you wrote and directed it, and then produced by Aaron Paul and Amy Berg. How did you? I'm always so curious how people get their producers. How does that happen?
Well, so Amy is my mom.
Oh,
So and
I don't think I realized that because of the last name.
yeah, different last name. Yeah. So she.
I did not put that together.
Well, I mean that makes sense. You
Okay.
know? So she and then Aaron Paul, she sent it to Aaron. She knew him.
They know each other. Okay.
Yeah, and I've met him before, and he loved the script, and we met up, and he was like, "How can I help?" And I told him about Hunter, who was in Your Honor and Wednesday, and Your Honor he's starring alongside Bryan Cranston, and obviously Aaron Paul and Bryan have that connection, and he reached out to Bryan, and it went from there, and then Hunter
Awesome.
got him, and Hunter's a producer on the film too,
Cool.
and he brought a lot of his. Or he went out to a lot of actors that he has connections with, and so it was really a team effort.
That's
from a lot of
awesome.
people, and Hunter is such a supporter of it, and obviously had an amazing performance in it. So
That's sweet. I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, group effort.
yeah,
So this is based off of real life experiences. I was going to just say off the bat, like I know 2 people who've done this. I grew up going to Christian schools. And so like it was just a thing being like knowing someone who got sent away to one of these, you know?
interesting.
I associate it to Christian school because I don't know, maybe just I'm thinking like stricter families that they're like
Yeah.
send the problem child away. So I know actually like 3 people who've done this.
Really, yeah,
I don't know if they were all Utah, but definitely one of them was Utah.
yeah.
I wanted to ask you like how close to home is the film?
Yeah, so everything is kind of inspired by real things, whether it's things that I've been around or things that other people have been around, and then it's a fictional story, you know.
Yeah.
So there's no bounds to truth in it, and it's representative of something that people go through. It's definitely not. I wouldn't associate it with a Christian thing. That's interesting that you do.
I don't know why. The people that I knew weren't Christian. I just went to Christian schools.
Totally. Well, I think the reason you say that is because it's actually more widespread than people realize.
Yeah.
You know, and I went to public school.
Yeah.
Not any association, and I knew a handful of people that went through it, myself included.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I think that's the answer. It's no.
There's no limits to someone being sent away to one of these.
Yeah, definitely, and it's all walks of life. Too.
Yeah. Was it therapeutic making this film?
In a way, yeah. It's it definitely was a reminder of certain things, and then being out there was, you know, if I go to deep Utah desert, I'm not going to think about my experience out there anymore. I'm going to think about the experience of making a movie with some amazing people, and, you know, one of the greatest experiences of my life. So I guess that would be the answer. Yes. Did
making this film change how you feel about your own experience being in the program? And can you also, like, I'm realizing now I've jumped into this with the assumption that people know exactly what we're talking about. Can we zoom back and give context?
Okay, so there's industries in this country that are grouped together. Well, there's different ones. There's wilderness therapy camps, and there's therapeutic boarding schools, and together they're called, it's like the troubled teen industry. It's been dubbed that, and it's basically for kids. It's just what it sounds. It's kids that are having issues at home and struggling in different ways, and their parents send them to these kind of rehabilitation centers, and whether it's in the wilderness, which you're kind of you're learning survival skills, and or these therapeutic boarding schools, which are exactly what they sound like, boarding schools, but these kids are going through constant therapy and stuff. And in if you zoom out, it's, you know, I think it's a really beautiful idea, and the idea of going into the wilderness and connecting with nature and learning skills and how to survive and become an adult is a beautiful thing. The unfortunate thing is there's been a lot of money that's been introduced into these programs, and I think the therapeutic side of it has slipped in a lot of ways. You know, there's really well-ran camps, but there's also ones where there's a lot of abuse, and there's been unfortunate deaths, and people have kind of been stuck in these programs for longer than they were intending to, and the parents might have been duped in certain ways. And the boarding schools are owned by the same people that own the wilderness camps, so they then try to funnel you to the school when that wasn't the initial agreement, and, you know, tell your parents you need more help and stuff, and try and keep you in these because there's money coming through it. Yeah, so it's turned into a for-profit thing in a lot of ways, and I think that's hurt it. There's people I know that run camps that are nonprofit, and, you know, they're a week long, and they are in the summer, and they're really good, you know? So it's you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but unfortunately there's a lot of...
I've never heard that phrase.
Oh, I've got good phrases.
I've never heard that. That's funny. Okay, well, famously, Paris Hilton went to one of these and made a documentary.
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on, and I've seen, I think, a couple documentaries about, like, the dark sides of these. Do you think, how does that fit into the world of your film? And is it in tandem with your film, or is it in opposition? Do you know what I'm getting at? Yeah.
Well, I think they work separately for, you know, bringing awareness to things, and I don't think there's been a dramatized version. Like there's that new show Wayward, which I actually haven't seen yet, but that's it's on Netflix, and came out like a couple weeks before ours, funny enough. But that's a therapeutic boarding school, so it's not wilderness, but
Okay.
I think they reference wilderness in it.
Yeah.
So I think all these things, it's cool. They kind of like work in tandem, like you said, in tandem and fill the puzzle out.
Yeah. Did the cast have to go through any preparation or immersion to understand the environment and the dynamics? Like, were you telling stories of your time? What was it like?
Yeah, definitely a little bit of that. They came out a week before,
Uh-huh.
and we hired a survival guide, and we went on a backpacking trip.
Oh, fun.
And so we went on a gnarly, like deep into a canyon hike. Spent the night there. They learned how to start fires and make backpacks and stuff with natural equipment, and they were all so dedicated to making it look authentic. And they're really good cast, really good actors, and really dedicated. Definitely, like, still at that point in their career where they're not at all like jaded by it, and they were just, giving everything, and they made that film. With we did a lot of stuff behind the camera, but without them, it wouldn't have mattered.
Being the writer of the film and then also directing it, like, I've never made a film, but I would assume that, like, me personally, I'm thinking about all, like, the senses. Obviously, sight goes into it, but then, like, what do you want it to sound like? What do you want it to feel like, smell like? What is, like, one of the most prominent 5 senses that you care about when making a film? I feel like we have to actually remove sight because obviously
Okay.
people are
Yeah.
viewing your film, but what is
Yeah.
something that guides your creation process?
Well, I definitely think film composition, so score, is huge for me. And those, a lot, we were talking about film inspirations for me, and a lot of those are actually scores. I've spent more time probably just listening to scores while I write than actually watching films.
Yeah.
And there's film scores that are paired with films that I don't maybe love the film, but the score, it means a lot to me, And now I feel like I can't say it because then I'd be slamming a film.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'd say the score and then sound design. And I think a film like this, sound design was really important. And the idea was that they're trapped in this desert. It's like an outdoor prison in a way. So we really wanted to elevate, any animal sound, any crunch on the ground, make it feel really quiet and then, overwhelming the other sounds. So I think those two are so important, and sound design's one that never gets any credit, but if you watch a film that hasn't been sound mixed, you're going to be like, what's wrong with this movie?
Yeah. Yeah, everything is off.
Yeah.
And then what were some visual references for your film? Like, did you have any North Stars that you wanted your movie to look like and sound like?
Yeah. Well, sound, we really, me and Isaac Middleton, the composer, were inspired by The Passion of the Christ.
Huh.
And kind of this Middle Eastern, like Judaic instruments.
Yeah.
And because the wilderness on its own is a very biblical thing, and the idea that you kind of get baptized through it and you come out of it a different person, you get cleansed in the wilderness. And so we really leaned into that. So if you listen to the score, there's a lot of, it's very Middle Eastern. And I'm trying to think of what our visual references were. We kind of struggled with that because it's a film out in nature. Like it's, I guess you could maybe say something like Lawrence of Arabia. I don't know if me and Sean actually talked about that, but we tried to just capture the desert and capture big wides. And I guess we both are very inspired by like a lot of Denis work, Denis Villeneuve, like Prisoners and Sicario and stuff like that. So there's a lot of, dolly push-ins. And so, I'd say cinematography wise, films that aren't desert, but we are inspired by that type of cinematic feel.
Yeah. And just like logistics wise, I imagine it's really difficult shooting in the desert. What was it like for you?
Oh, well, it was really difficult. You're
Yeah.
right. The first week was brutal. We had monsoons and we got shut down, and
Oh
we
my
had
God.
out of nowhere rain, and the weather's really unpredictable there. We'd be in canyons and have thunder and lightning and have to like hide. And
Did any equipment get ruined?
no,
Okay.
we
that's good.
didn't. We got the first night we got stuck in a monsoon, and we only had 1 or 2 cars that were able to get out of the mud, and we had to shut down the chute, and we had to shuttle everyone out. like 4 at
Damn.
a time. And we were just stuck in a rainstorm. And day 2, we shut down. Like, we need to take a break. And then day 2 was perfectly sunny. We're like, oh no.
Oh,
And then
wow.
day 3, we got back and it was raining again. It was like, man, this film, I don't know if it's going to get made, but we pushed through and kind of got to a point where it's like, we can do anything now after that first week.
Sweet. Yeah. It just sounds like logistically so frustrating.
Yeah, it was a good film to be a director and not an AD on,
Yeah.
or a line producer.
Okay, this is really my main question with this is like your feelings after going through this yourself and then making a film about it. Like, are you coming from a place of warning or resentment or like learning? What did you want your viewer to get out of this story?
Well, I tried to keep my personal opinions out of it and pose a question. You know, a lot of my favorite films leave you kind of in the gray area of, you know, obviously there's a bad guy in this film and there's a protagonist, but you know, they're very troubled protagonist, and this bad guy who's very bad and evil, you kind of have some sympathy for him, and I don't want you to come out of this like shut them all down necessarily. If that's your takeaway, that's great, but I'm trying to pose a question, and hopefully some parents will see this film and they'll, you know, think twice and look to. Well, that's why we've partnered with the organization Unsilenced. They've got like full databases of archives of all these programs, and you can do really deep research, see which have been sued and stuff like that. So kind of do your research. That's my hope for a takeaway.
And then who is this film for?
It's for you.
Like, did you have a target audience in mind? Is it someone like you who's gone through it, or a parent, or?
It's definitely for that, for sure.
Yeah.
And the responses we've gotten from people that have been through these programs has been really good, and that's great. But it's for, you know, film lovers and a wider audience, and people that like a story that, you know, you have to pay attention to kind of to understand what's going on, and you're picking up on clues, and you know, it's a slow burn in a way, but I think that it's definitely, I hope people see it while it's in theaters. I think it's a good film if you don't look at your phone. But like that's all films, you know. So it's definitely not pigeonholed for anyone, and I hope that people are able to see it, you know, give me their honest opinions.
Can you, for like one last time, plug where people can watch it and then when it's streaming and all that info?
Yeah, so it's in theaters right now. It's out of the AMCs now, unfortunately, but it's in select art houses, and you can kind of, wherever you're listening to this, you can go see it. We're gonna start a run at the NoHo Lemley pretty soon, which I'm excited about. So if you're in LA, check it out there. And then it will be coming to digital, which means like you can rent it on all the places you rent movies, December 16th.
Cool. Sweet.
Yeah.
And then wait, what's next for you? Do you have already a project on the docket? Like, what do you plan to do now?
Yeah, so the other my next film I already made it, and it's coming out in the spring. It's called Nichols.
Okay.
It's starring Rob Riggle, and it'll be coming to theaters. So I didn't write it; I just directed it, and it was a great experience. So
wait, when did you say it comes out?
in the spring.
Okay, cool, sweet.
Yeah. So have me back on.
Yeah, we probably will. Okay, and then we're just going to end it with a quick game. No right or wrong answer. I'm going to say a director and say 2 of their movies, and then you just pick which one you prefer.
Okay.
Okay, so for Spike Lee, Do the Right Thing or BlacKkKlansman?
Do the Right Thing.
Sofia Coppola, Lost in Translation or Marie Antoinette?
Lost in Translation.
Tim Burton, Edward Scissorhands or Batman?
Wish you said Sleepy Hollow. Edward Scissorhands.
M. Night Shyamalan, The Sixth Sense or Split?
Split.
Steven Spielberg, Jaws or Schindler's List?
Jaws.
Ridley Scott, Alien or Gladiator?
Gladiator.
Martin Scorsese, Goodfellas or The Irishman?
Goodfellas.
Emerald Fennell, Promising Young Woman or Saltburn?
Promising Young Woman.
Barry Jenkins, Moonlight or If Beale Street Could Talk?
Beale Street.
Beale Street, great soundtrack. I've referenced it a
I
million times.
love that soundtrack.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed
It's
with
so
that one.
beautiful.
Yeah. And I love that movie.
Yorgos Lanthimos, The Favorite or The Lobster?
The Favorite.
Robert Eggers, The Witch or The Northman?
The Witch.
Christopher Nolan, Inception or Oppenheimer?
Inception.
Greta Gerwig, Little Women or Barbie?
Little Women.
Quentin Tarantino, Pulp Fiction or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Once Upon a Time.
Well, that's all I have for us today. I had a great time talking to you. Do you have it like your personal or for the film or anything like that?
Yeah, you could just follow the films one, the Wilderness movie.
Okay.
It's easy. We've got a whole social campaign going on there.
Incredible. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's time to get lost.
Good evening.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave us 5 stars on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. To stay in touch, follow our Instagram page at It's Intermission Time and share with your friends. As always, Intermission is produced by Jazeel Chu and Olivia Dean, and of course, hosted by yours truly, Megan Braun. This episode is brought to you by The Synagogue.